know why The Matrix Resurrections was so good? Because everyone was so gay.
So gay. Everyone is just stone cold gay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. As always, this is a spoiler show, so you have been warned. On today's episode, we are going to have probably a rather quick,
you did it now,
compact discussion about The Matrix Resurrections.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Did you watch it twice?
No.
I only watched it once, and we took a big old break in the middle.
We did take a huge break in the middle. Will and I watched it the final 40 minutes the next morning.
48 hours passed for me. So this is not a comprehensive review or recap or The Matrix Resurrections ending explained. No. We're just going to kind of talk about our first thoughts. This is something that will probably, cat's out of the bag. I kind of liked it.
I liked it too.
It doesn't really justify its own existence.
No.
I feel this way, the way I've said about several things. We kind of primarily trade in television, hence the title, So I'm Watching the Show. So we are frequently comparing things to television. And for me, this felt like a fine episode of The Matrix.
Sure. I, honest to God, would not hate it if we just kept doing this.
Yeah.
It seems like Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves are, down to clown to come back whenever.
Well, someone needs to be. Because it's pretty clear that Lana, at least to me, didn't want to really make this movie.
Well, Lilly didn't want to make it, so she didn't.
Yeah, but I don't think Lana did either, because the entire first 30 minutes are about a manager or a corporate entity being either you do this or we will, and you won't like what we do.
So maybe, I guess. So she has a quote about why she decided to bring back Neo and Trinity. And so in my opinion, that meant make the movie. But I think in order to bring them back, it was because she lost 3 people in a row.
But it's Warner Brothers. Yeah, I think Warner Brothers was we're making a 4th Matrix movie.
Yeah.
With or without you.
Yes, that is what it sounds like.
And so I think she was okay.
Yeah. What she said is basically she took comfort in bringing back Neo and Trinity because she had both her parents and a close friend died within weeks of each other. And she was being able to bring them back was so comforting to me. And that is actually the exact reason Lilly didn't come back, is because she was I would have felt like I was going backwards after my transition and after these deaths, and I didn't want to go backwards. And I was both are super valid reasons to do or not do this movie.
I think this movie has a pretty... It has a singular vision. You can tell it's coming from one person, for better and worse. I also think it's pretty clear that Lily's the one that handled the action sequences in the first.
Yeah, they weren't amazing.
No, to fall back on another one of our tried and true tropes, catchphrases, what have you. This gave me a lot of the TV show Lost.
Okay.
If you were the kind of person who liked the finale of Lost, then you'll probably kind of like this. If you're a kind of person who's mad that they didn't answer the questions the way you wanted them to, you're probably not going to like this.
Yeah, so that was again, with this one, what I liked the best was all of the lore and stuff, digging back into that, doing all that, finding out who was who and what was real and what was not and all of that stuff. Super fun. The fact that he was basically a god king, in the real world now was really interesting. All of this shit was super funny, but there were a couple of points where they just started saying words, and I was okay. I was I'm good. We're good. Let's move on.
No, I kind of liked all that. I kind of liked how they had that way for the programs to exist in the real world, where it
that
was sort of
very
like
cool.
floating little metal beads. It kind of looks like those things that you press your face or your hand into.
Yeah, that was very cool. I liked that quite a lot.
They were all kind of naked, which I appreciated. Any chance we get to strip down Yahya is always welcome in my...
Honestly, his Morpheus was like the part I was the weirdest about.
I didn't understand.
Me neither. And he was also, I mean, he's like a different Morpheus.
He was like an Agent Smith that was also Morpheus.
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, I guess they didn't ask Lawrence Fishburne to come back, so that's like one thing. But I also just thought he played it weird. Like I kept on waiting for him to be like, jive, turkey, or something. He was really putting so much mustard on everything. And I was like, is this Shaft? What are we doing?
I liked it. I liked what he was wearing.
Well, I loved what he was wearing.
That's another thing I love about this.
It just felt tonally inconsistent with like the deadly seriousness of the rest of it.
The first movie and movies they all have this like weird green tinge to them.
Yeah.
And this one does not. There is color in this movie. Beautiful.
Yeah.
We watched this on your 4K TV. It was pouring.
It was really
off
pretty.
The screen.
Really, really pretty.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It just felt so rich, and it reminded me of the scene in What Dreams May Come when he like lands in the flower paint field. Like, I liked that. I liked the characters. If you watched and liked Sense8, they're in this.
Yeah, every single one of them, basically.
Well, like 4 of them, but
I mean
4 of the 8.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we did think that for a minute. We thought
I recognized Priyanka Chopra, but I didn't recognize that she was Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah.
And so I did that thing where I was like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's a Jonas.
Yeah. And I just like let it happen. And I was like, oh, yeah, totally cool. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's Priyanka Chopra.
Well, and my girl Dani got a poster.
She did. Yeah.
Did you see her poster?
I did.
It was like, I don't know why. I actually.
That's not her real name.
No, it's Dani in Sense8. I don't know why I respond to her so strongly, because she was actually just medium in this movie, I think.
I mean, her character on Sense8 was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I find there's something about her that I find very appealing. Yeah. She kind of falls into that like Patricia Velasquez, like, I don't know. There's a handful of people that are really sort of like, oh, hey, you.
Yeah,
and
it's always nice.
I kind of liked their weird tattoos. And again, I like that they were all kind of gay, because we also had Max Rimlet and
Brian J. Smith,
who even like kind of makes a little bit of a pass at Neo. It was really, it was just.
Not to fanboy out here, but this is kind of a huge moment for me.
Berg is our resident neoologist.
A what? There's a lot of people out there like me who are a little bit obsessed with your life.
It was
would we
fun.
all not try? We would all try.
Well, and I think a large portion of this is Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, and especially Carrie-Anne Moss was doing so much of the heavy, like even a little bit more than Keanu Reeves.
Well, yeah,
for me.
no, 100%. That's the thing is like she's come to be known for her heavy lifting, and like Keanu Reeves is good at action and stuff, but he's not like,
he's just sort of there.
He's not an excellent actor. As much as I love him, he is not an excellent actor. He's good, and he has shown excellence before, but like that's not the part of his career that we're in right now. And he also, Neo doesn't need that type of excellence, but Carrie-Anne Moss blows me off the map every single time.
She looks phenomenal. Like I think she looks better. Like I think she's one of the ones that looks better with age. And we talked about this before, but she's a very handsome woman. And Trinity is also very butch in a way that typically I would find the
just like sort of off-putting.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't find their relationship to be strained or strange.
It's my favorite part of these movies is their relationship. And that's really not what I was. First of all, when I first sat down to watch these, like 3 weeks ago.
Brand new over here.
I did not know that it was like a love story and that it was like a fated destiny, like their love will save the world type of shit. And that is so my bag. And I think the way they work it in with all of the action and the drama and the weird, Senate, galactic Senate scenes, I do think that it works really well, the balance that it has, and the fact that this movie was so much more about them trying to find each other and like you know, he has that line where he's like, she believed in me before, and now I have to believe in her. And I'm just like, amazing, blown away. I like, who knew that these were going to be my love for the ages? I had no clue.
Its brand is its own worst enemy. It like has this reputation of being something so fiercely groundbreaking and generation defining that it can't live up to its own
hype
to itself. And I think if you remove that and just sort of let it be this weird cyberpunk quest, like mythology, it's really interesting. I forget what they called them, but there are machines that so I don't understand how they got Neo and Trinity back. Did they like 3D print them from their code?
Well, it was something like that, or like the Neil Patrick Harris character, the analyst, he like, after they like died, he like got them back somehow. I don't know. Look, dude, I don't care. That's not why I'm here. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to watch Jonathan Groff make Mr. Smith even grayer, or Agent Smith even grayer than he was, and I'm here to watch Neil Patrick Harris mince around while Neo and Trinity ride off into the fucking sunset. I don't care about the rest of it.
In a blue sweater. When he was doing that scene with the blue sweater, and I was like, we need to bring the nips out, and he did.
He did for sure.
He was considering what a mantle that is to take on, Hugo Weaving's Agent Smith. He really did a great job, and he was one of movies like this live and die by the amount of fun that the people are having.
Yeah, and he was having so much fun, and I think it's because he's a theater person. Him and Neil Patrick Harris both were, I think, having so much fun, and I think for me, the Jonathan Groff's interpretation as Agent Smith worked better for me than the analyst did, but I think they were both having equal amounts of fun, and I think it is their theater background that like helps them get there.
But so I was starting to try and explain it, but they basically, it's like a 7th version of the Matrix. They need Neo and Trinity, yada yada. I don't know. There was a war amongst the machines for like resources, and in such, some of the machines ended up siding with the humans. I am a sucker for that kind of bullshit. And that's
when it was, though. It was when they were describing how they were growing the strawberries, and this like word salad falls out of Jada Pinkett Smith's mouth, and I was like, we're done.
Using digital code from the Matrix, we retroconvert it into DNA sequences.
And they grow here.
It's not easy augmenting the genome to photosynthesize biosky, but
we're getting there.
I was like, I don't care how you grew the strawberries. It's just cool they're there.
Well, that's one of the parts where, no, but I actually, yes, I understand and agree to an extent. But that's where I got like the whole like 3D printed, where they were like, they reverse engineered physical food from the code. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was so cool. But we get these like machines that they're much softer than the squids or whatever. And they're like benevolent, and you can see that in the little bleeps and bloops on their face presenting thing. And it like boops Neo on the head. I loved it.
Super cute.
Loved the like manta ray that comes. I just watched Spice World with my brother.
I was like, you really did something there.
And then there's a little ginger one who's full of useless facts about manta rays. And it's like Sati, who was Priyanka Chopra who was the little girl from the 3rd movie. I don't know.
Loved it.
The Merovingian is there.
Yeah, he's still there. Same guy and everything.
Doing more than anyone else in that scene combined.
You? Oh, it is you. But all these years, I can't believe it.
It was very, what's his face from Warriors of Virtue. Look at me!
I have no idea. There was a lot of commentary. It was very meta. Yeah. But also, it's this thing that happens with a lot of the Wachowskis' projects, very in Speed Racer in that regard, where it was also just weirdly sincere.
Yeah.
In a way that, like, I don't hate. We could use a little less detached irony.
Yeah.
And a little more straightforward sincerity. There is an inexplicable inexplicable Christina Ricci in this movie.
There is.
With an even more confounding wig.
Yeah.
She looks great.
She looks amazing.
I don't know.
But you're correct. Her wig was confounding for sure.
It didn't look bad.
No.
But it was like a Once Upon a Time villain.
Yeah. And then we also had Jessica Hennick was also there. Bugs. She's the one from
Right.
Iron Fist
Yeah.
and Love and Monsters.
She was great. Like,
She's
I don't
super
know. I mean, I hate to say it because I just feel like it is more evidence in my, like, you're just being contrary. But I was like, I kind of just liked it.
Is that contrary?
Yeah.
Is it? Or do people say it's bad? I saw people saying it was too woke, and they're just like,
that has become one of those nonsense. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Well, I saw a bunch of people who were like, not a bunch.
Because also, what is woke about? What specifically? The fact that they were all kind of gay, or
I think specifically because Lily and Lana are both trans, but when they were making the first ones, they had not transitioned yet, and so I saw a bunch of people that were like, this has always been a franchise made by trans people. I don't know what you don't get it.
But well, furthermore, it's like, I don't know what about this was woker than any of the others. Like, I
mean, there's a bunch of the commentary about, like, you know, the sequels and, like, you know, all the like gaming people that he's working with at the beginning are like basically like much. Yeah, but again, I'm just sort of like, it's not woke, it's just commentary.
Yeah,
those are the parts where it's like the most meta.
Mm-hmm. No, a lot of the consensus I'm seeing is that it's like unnecessary, which, I mean, fair.
Is anything necessary? You know, I'm just saying. We got in trouble for saying that about something else.
The Spencer trailer.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck yourself.
You specifically.
Just, you know, if this is not necessary, then why is anything necessary? Who cares? They wanted to make it, they made it. It's fine. I liked it.
I didn't need all of the flashbacks. I mean, it was kind of nice in that it was like a refresher.
No, I get what you mean, though.
There was a point where I was like, oh, this is just, we're just going to run these two movies concurrently.
We could have easily shaved 15 minutes off this movie if they hadn't done that.
They also did this like weird jittery thing. I liked
a couple of times.
I liked when Neil Patrick Harris was doing it. Mm-hmm. I also I think the things it was saying about therapy were interesting because there is such a thing as bad therapists.
Oh, yeah.
And I do like that. I don't know. It was odd. It was odd. And very, very on the nose. Oh, Jada Pinkett Smith, she looked great. Yeah. I loved having her here. She was doing too much. I don't think she needed to be like
hobbling around,
walking around practically with like a walker. I just thought,
in my day, Frankfurters only cost a nickel.
I think the old age makeup was fine, but I was good, like, yeah. I think Niobe could have been
sprightly.
Yeah, more graceful.
Yeah. She also was like, she was one of the ones in the previous movies that was like gung ho about like these fights and like doing these things and like, you know, progressing and moving forward and all this stuff. And then in this one, she's just like, we have to stick to the old ways. And I was like,
well, she got, because the city was Io.
Yeah.
They had
progressed.
Yeah. They had pushed through to like a better thing.
Yeah. But then eventually she was like, but we can't rescue Trinity. What would happen?
They also, the ship was the Nimazine. I've never heard, I looked it up and that's apparently how it's pronounced. I've always known it's the Greek goddess of memory, and I've always known it to be Mnemosyne, and I just think that's so much prettier because by the Nimazine logic, then it's also Aphrodite and Persephone. So I'm like, I didn't care for that. So
you're not wrong.
Terpsichore. I don't know. I'm just sort of like, so I'm going to continue saying Mnemosyne, but I think also maybe the ending was a little.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said, it's the kind of thing that it's like if you just sort of like the Matrix lore and like the weird psychobabble and like, you know, cool special effects, then yeah, I mean, I'm for it. I don't know if there would be another one. I think maybe see what would happen if they brought in another director.
Yeah, the Wachowskis might not be involved after this, but Yeah, I don't know. I like mostly liked it. I thought it was good. It was like, it felt less life or death stakes than the first three for sure.
It absolutely does not for me feel like you can stop after 3. You can stop after 1, to be perfectly honest. So it's the kind, it's seconds, thirds, for it's the kind of thing that's like, if you want more, there's more.
Yeah.
But you don't need it to complete the picture, really.
How many slices of cake do you really need? That's the question you should be asking yourself. But I mean, no, I mostly thought it was great. I love watching Carrie-Anne Moss just waste dudes, and she wasted Chad Stileski in this fucking movie, so
yeah, I give it a solid B.
Yeah.
So I think it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
If we watch it again and have more to say, then we'll revisit it.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then that's the thing we always say is like a lot of the movies that we watch, we end up referencing in the future too. So we'll always come back to stuff. But yeah, so that is going to be it for that. You can watch this on HBO Max if you feel like it. And
the next 24 days.
Yeah, and I do think it's in the theater, so you can go to the theater too if you feel like it, but also be safe.
Brave that hell.
Yeah, well, first of all, the theater blows ass, and then it also just be safe. But yeah, you can follow us on Twitter @SoI'mWatching or Instagram @SoI'mWatchingThisShow. We also have a website, soimwatching.com, which links out to everything, including where you can donate money to the cause. If you would like us to cover more things, you may do so here. And other than that, just like and subscribe. And that's it for us. Bye.